Hi, I'm Anita Fioris, the creator of the Social Media Blueprint. The Social Media Blueprint consists of a system, an easily duplicatable system that anyone can use, simply using a few of the existing components within today's social media environment. Using each one of these, though, alone and in and of itself, does not comprise the whole blueprint. Hi, I'm Anita Fioris, and I created the Social Media Blueprint System. When I created the system, I was trying to wade through exactly what the new phenomena on the scene in marketing, whether it be business, civic organizations, religious organizations, political organizations, whatever. Hi, my name's Anita Fioris, creator of the Social Media Blueprint. I'd like to spend a few minutes with you discussing the various parts of the blueprint. We're going to be discussing Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and then some what I call cool tools. And these are actually applications or programs that have been created outside of the actual social media sites. And there are literally thousands of them to date. And with the introduction of the whole mobile aspect now, they're growing by leaps and bounds on a daily basis. So before we go into very much more of this, I need to set the groundwork. We need to make sure that the foundation that we're going to use to build this social media system for you, that it's on firm ground and that we're all on the same page of the blueprint. And the very first thing we want to make sure is very, very clear is that this environment is changing. Welcome to your new world, right? Recently, they've introduced and they're kind of bringing people along, both Facebook and Twitter, to some pretty revolutionary changes. Twitter itself, the whole look of it's going to change. Hi, I'm Anita Fioris, the creator of the Social Media Blueprint. The Social Media Blueprint is made up of several sections. The first section will cover Twitter, the next one will cover Facebook, the third one will cover LinkedIn and YouTube, and then the final one will cover the various tools. I call them the cool tools of the trade, if you will. These tools are a lot of fun, and the beautiful thing with that is they're constantly changing. Just within the last 12 months, the main driver, if you will, that I use to put the system on automatic pilot, I've switched. We'll go into more of that when we're in that section. The reason that I've divided it in this way is because you will need to understand each one of the tools in your social media toolbox, if you will. And again, that's Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube I combine together, and cool tools. The reason is each one in of itself can seem a little daunting and complicated. And as we all know, the devil is in the details. So I want to make sure that in each section you understand what you need, so as each of these areas change, you'll be able to move with the times because you know the concept and the reasoning behind the blueprint, not just which button do I push, but we'll go over that too. The main thing I want you to understand is that this environment in social media is changing, and it changes rapidly. It almost seems as if it changes daily, and some aspects of it do. Does that mean that knowing this information is hopeless because you can't keep up with it? No, by no means, because that's the beauty that I put into the blueprint. You see, the blueprint is not just about Twitter and then Facebook and then LinkedIn and YouTube and the cool tools. Each one of those alone will be just fine. Where the beauty and the genius of the blueprint come into play is very simple. It's how we use certain elements in conjunction with the other elements and tie them all up in a pretty package so that we're able to overcome the common roadblocks and barriers that most businesses find, especially small businesses, startup businesses, that they find they run into when they're trying to take on social media as a part of their overall marketing tool. Now, by no means am I saying that you won't need any other marketing. You're also going to need to keep the concept, and I'm sure that's one of the things you don't want to do, is give up that personal touch. But what this does, let's look at social media. No matter where you are on social media, one thing is definitely incontrovertible, and that is that social media, you can get on it for free, that you can now be accessible to where your clients are. Very few people are not on any form of social media. And as for those, that small percentage that aren't on social media, well, you're not going to stop interacting and contacting them the way you've always contacted them. That's going to stay the same, so you're safe there. What social media is going to let you do is to access all of those individuals that were so busy doing the things they do in their life that they didn't have time to read the paper, listen to the radio, be on or listen to the television news ads, whatever the things are. You're going to now have your business, your message, whatever it is that you're doing, in front of your potential clients and customers in the easiest, fastest method, in an area where they're already open because they're already there. They're signing on themselves. That's the beautiful part. Now, the other side of the coin, if you will, is you want to make sure that you're doing this the right way, because the good news is the same as the bad news. Your potential clients and customers, this is where they're playing. This is where your new growth is going to come from. That means whatever your message is and the way you are perceived is going to have a lot, if not everything, to do with your success. So we will not only be discussing how that you work Twitter and Blueprint and YouTube or LinkedIn and the cool tools that will run the whole show. Not only will we go over that, but we're also going to talk about how to create and cultivate your image. One thing I know in the world of branding, where you're branding yourself, your company, whatever, if you don't define yourself, someone else will. Another fact that goes along with that, you may not like how they define you. Is you do not take control and make the definition of you that of your choosing. You may not like the one that someone chooses for you. So what I'm talking about there is, and before we get into the nuts and bolts, we do need to cover some basics of marketing. Number one, everything you've learned about social interaction, how to be a decent neighbor, how to be a friend, how to listen to your clients, how to serve their needs, whatever it is that makes you you, don't leave it at the door when you enter the world of the social media marketing. A lot of individuals seem to be very skilled at knowing how to interact with people, knowing how to reach their customers, developing that persona. But when they go into social media, they sort of lose their minds. Well, it's very simple. Social media is still about connecting with people. You still need to have that person-to-person connection or the company-to-person connection. Whatever it is, it's all about connecting. The beautiful thing with social media is you're connecting with individuals, but now you're just connecting in a location where they're at, and it's free for you to be there. Let's stop and think about this. Look at some statistics, all right? Facebook, there are 500 million, 1/2 billion subscribers to Facebook. Now, granted, a lot of them are not on there every day. Here's a statistic we do know. 250 million people log into their Facebook account at least once a day. So at a minimum, you're able to reach those 250 million people like that, okay, in a 24-hour period. And and some of those individuals log in more than once. So that's another freebies in there. And I mean freebie. How much does it cost for you to be on social media? Zip, zilch, nada. Nothing. When else have you been able to put your business, your name, your brand, whatever, in front of that many people for free? I mean, if you're not on social media, I don't get it. Now, that's a statistic for Facebook. Okay, and Facebook, of these areas, that is the place where you're going to be able to both drive traffic, but get more of a message and make more of a connection and make the customer, client, whoever it is that's looking in on your business, to make them feel more connected. All right, but let's not discount Twitter. There's a reason that Twitter, specifically Twitter, is included in this blueprint, and it's not because people talk about it all the time. Here is what it is. Two very important pieces. While Twitter is not the largest of the social media sites, by far it's not, it is invariably the one that is growing the most rapidly and consistently. There's been a new one, a new little puppy that's popped up recently on the social media horizon, and it's still got a long way to go before we pay a lot of attention to it. And I will say this, the next time that we will redo the blueprint with updated information, we will definitely, if things continue, that will be included. Right now, it's growing rapidly, but it could also be a flash in the pan. Twitter, on the other hand, no. Twitter is growing at an average of 400,000 subscribers per day. In a 24-hour period, that's how fast they grow. That's a lot of people. Now, that's a wonderful thing. That means it's a mover and a shaker, and it's up and coming, and people are on it, and the more it adapts to mobility and cell phones and all that kind of thing, it'll be even more and more utilized. But here's the most important part for business. It also has the highest click-through ratio of any of the social media sites. So for advertising, there you go. Now, if you get on either Facebook or Twitter and you start, doing, frankly, stupid stuff, you're going to have a problem on your hands. And that's where we come in. We're going to help guide you through that. In other words, guys, all of this I'm telling you, you are in front of a ton of people. So make sure you're putting your best foot forward. Our grandmas were all right when they taught us, you never have a second chance to make a first impression. So we want to make sure that impression is the right one, the one of your choosing. Now, the third thing I want to talk about when it comes to statistics of social media is YouTube. YouTube is really, I would say, of all of these, this one is the one that surprised me the most. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. Second largest. Videos. Who'd have thought, right? It's only second to the number one, which is, a mega site, Google. And Google recently bought YouTube. I'm telling you, you need to have a presence on YouTube. You need to have a channel on YouTube. If nothing more than just to have it where if people are on YouTube and they type in the name of your company, you pop up. Now, again, each of these sites and the cool tools do not stand alone. They can stand alone, yes. Will you have some success? I have seen it happen. But here's what I do know. The way I created my social media system is now, after being in practice for a year, is now proven. It's proven itself time and time and time again. The blueprint system has proven itself. Let me give you one example. Using the social media blueprint system, a woman in her home-based office was able to develop a following of over 285,000 followers on Twitter, and on Facebook, maxed out her Facebook friendship. In other words, she'd hit that 5,000 glass ceiling, and has 4 groups. Each of these groups has over 200 people in them. Now, that in and of itself is pretty phenomenal. But when you add the fact that this person is not a celebrity, and there's no tricks, no gimmicks, simply following this blueprint system that we're going to teach you. How do I know that to be a fact? You're looking at her. All I do, guys, is use the blueprint. Now, do I sit 24/7 and I only eat and breathe social media? No. I program the automatic pilot part, which we'll discover in the cool tools section. All right. But I spend about 60 to 90 minutes a week on social media. And if I can do it, I can teach you to do it. And I hope you enjoy this series as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you.